I think it started now.
Okay, okay, now we can see. Okay, shall we wait for 2 minutes or let's start?
I think we are good to start now.
Okay, okay. And first of all, I would like to thank Priyesh for an amazing session. And again, hello everyone. Welcome to the Power Platform November 2022 meetup for Indore and Ahmedabad chapter, powered by D365 Champs community. I'm Sagar Rupani. I'm moderating this session along with Preeti Piparia. Hope you are doing well and keeping safe. Let's move ahead for our agenda. Yeah, if we talk about who we are and how we can connect with you. Apart from that, news updates and upcoming events. And the topic for today's meetup is Dataverse for Teams. Power Apps meets Microsoft Teams. All you should know about it by Dhruvin Shah. If I talk about the brief introduction about Dhruvin Shah, then Dhruvin is working as a Power Platform consultant at Binary Republic Ahmedabad. Dhruvin is an active blogger and YouTuber. He has published more than 120 articles and 425 plus technical videos on YouTube. Maybe it might be bigger than that, as but and yeah, we will share the links in between the meetup in chat. Also, we have QA section. Okay, and if we move ahead with the next slide. Yeah, so this is the brief timeline about our community. In 2018, community leads realized that we need a local community in Southeast Asia. So they established this community in 2019. 10 leads teamed up and started the first chapter in Singapore, and number of leads grew. James went global with expansion in more countries. Again, in 2020, today we have members and leads in Singapore, Malaysia, India, New Zealand, and so many countries. Like also we have more than 5,000 members in LinkedIn, and Kaizala membership we have 800 plus. You can join over there. We will share the link in between the chat. Also in future there are so many things coming, like we are releasing our new website very soon. The Preeti has showed up just before this slide. And now I uh, would like to give this hand over to my co-organizer Preeti. And Preeti, over to you.
Yeah, thank you, Sagar. So,
Thank you.
everyone joining for this session, I would like to let you know that you all can connect us through social media. On LinkedIn, we have over 5,200 followers, and on Twitter, for Kaizala, you can join us in groups, and we regularly post our updates and anything coming up over there. So, you are most welcome to join us on Kaizala, Twitter, and LinkedIn. Here is the QR code. We most welcome the speakers who would like to speak at our regular meetups, which is monthly or bi-weekly. So here are the links for those who are interested in speaking up at our meetups. The topic can be anything that is useful for anyone. So, and regarding the news and updates, I would be repeating the things. So on the news side, we have big news coming down the line. So the Common Data Service that we were used to calling it has been renamed to Microsoft Dataverse, which has got effect in Dhruvin's session also. And related to that, some terminologies that we used to call have been changed, like entities and columns and choices. So these are some of the things. You can always refer to the documentation provided by Microsoft for the details. And the Power Virtual Agents, that integration with the bot framework Composer is also now available in the public preview. And about the updates that I would like to share, that the event that we just carried out in October for the Global BizApps Day, all the recordings for all the sessions have been now available on the YouTube channel. It is on the D365 Champs channel on YouTube, and the link is shared over here. Please go and subscribe to the channel, and you can also view all the sessions over there. So, and I would, at the last, I would like to thank our sponsors, Dynamicity, for continuously supporting this event. And thank you for being with us. And before handing over the session to Dhruvin, I would like to request everyone to share their queries or any comments in the chat window. And if they would like to ask the question themselves, please raise hand, and uh, we would be able to ask the question at appropriate time. Thank you. And Dhruvin, all over to you now.
All right. Thank you so much, Preeti, Sagar, Dipesh, and Shalini, for having me in this session. So let me quickly share my screen and let me walk through about my today's session agenda, and we'll start with that. All right. Okay. So please confirm if you are able to see my screen.
Yes, we can see your screen, Dhruvin.
All right. Thank you so much. All right. So first of all, I welcome you all for attending this session. So in this session, we are going to talk about Dataverse for Teams, where I'm going to demonstrate specifically a Power Apps portion where we can integrate our Power Apps within the Teams without leaving the Teams context. And I'm going to explain everything about from beginning to end. So stay tuned throughout this entire session. And coming towards my introduction part, I think Sagar cover everything. So I'm working as Power Platform Specialist and Microsoft 365 lead at one of the company at Gujarat Ahmedabad, and I have published around 120 plus articles and 430 plus tech videos on my YouTube channel related different Power Platform and Microsoft 365 related concept. So here is my social media handle detail where you can just click on this link, linktree/Dhruvin Shah. So you will be finding all my social media handles, Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, everything will be there. So just go there and you will be having all the details handy. Now let me talk about today's session agenda, what I'm going to cover throughout this entire session. So yes, as we discuss about news, Microsoft Dataverse is something which is generally available now, and it's a new name for CDS. So first of all, I am going to give you a little bit introduction about Microsoft Dataverse, and specifically for this particular session I am going to cover Microsoft Dataverse for Teams. So this is the main session agenda for today's session. So I'm going to talk about some benefits of Microsoft Dataverse for Teams environment and how we can get started with Dataverse. And we will build our first Power Apps application within the Teams with the help of Microsoft Dataverse for Teams. And we will be talking about some updated terminology in existing CDS with relational tables concept. So we will be talking about that thing. And at last, we will be discussing about some role management thing that we can manage with the traditional Power Apps development. And at last, we will go with some FAQs and some licensing part for Dataverse within the Teams. So this is the overall session agenda. So everything from starting to end will be covered throughout this entire session. So it's a complete package for Microsoft Dataverse for Teams with Power Apps. So now coming over to the first concept, what is Microsoft Dataverse? So it's the new name for CDS, or let's say in preview the name was Project Octal, specially for Microsoft Dataverse for Teams. Now what is Dataverse for Teams? So Microsoft Dataverse for Teams is something which is built-in low-code data platform for Microsoft Teams that empowers us to build custom application, chatbots, flows in Teams by using our Power Apps, Power Virtual Agents, and Power Automate. So in short, I can say that Dataverse for Teams is something like we can develop everything. Like if you want to develop Power Apps or Power Virtual Agent chatbot or Power Automate, we can develop everything within the Teams. We do not need to leave Teams context over that. So it is quite a bit different than we are developing our traditional Power Apps with web.powerapps.com. So what's the difference? That is also something which we are going to cover throughout this session. Now Dataverse for Teams is something which is built on Microsoft Dataverse, which provides relational database storage, rich data types, enterprise grade governance, and one-click solution deployment to the Teams App Store. So this is all something when I'm going to demonstrate this thing, I will cover up this thing detail. Now, we all know about the traditional app development with Power Apps Canvas app. Then what's the benefit that we are getting while we are using Dataverse for Teams? So let me explain you that thing. So the very first benefit is that we do not need to leave Teams context as we are going to develop everything within the Teams. And the most important thing is that we do not need to purchase any additional licensing for Dataverse for Teams. So at this moment, what happened here is for this particular Dataverse for Teams, at this moment 500 teams, up to 500 teams, we can create the Dataverse for our teams, and per team it is providing 2 gigs of additional support, additional storage, and it supports 1 million row in each individual table. So this is something, this is a very cool feature that we can leverage without having any additional license purchased, and everything will be accessed from the teams. So that is the main beauty for Dataverse for Teams. Now, this is the same thing like as this is the build on Microsoft Dataverse. It provides rich data types with enterprise capability and one-click deployment, and it provides a new visual editor that make it even easier to define and populate the table data. So these 2 points are something which we will cover during the demo time. But now the question arises in our mind that we are developing our Power Apps with the traditional Power Apps, then we are able to see the app into web.powerapps.com. So whatever that we are building within the teams, where we are able to see that. So let me show you that thing. Let me give you its admin center idea. This 2 gigs, what do we mean by this additional 2 gigs and 1 million rows thing? Let's discuss about this thing in detail over here. So let me over to my teams over here, and then we will discuss about everything. So the first thing is that in order to use Microsoft Dataverse for Teams, we need to add Power Apps within the Teams first. So that is our first step. So here you can see that the left-hand navigation. Now from here on ellipsis, we need to add our Power Apps first. So the very first step is that we just need to search for Power Apps. So that will open that type of pop-up to you. And now we just need to add our Power Apps within the Teams. That is the very first step that we need to perform in order to start with Dataverse for Teams. Now, once we do that, that will add the Power Apps over here inside the Teams from where we can create our Power Apps. Now, let's say on left hand navigation, if we want to pin this app, we just right click on that and pin that so that we'll never miss that place from here. So that is one thing. Now, once we add that particular app, we would be having this type of home screen available in order to use Dataverse for Teams. Now, this home screen has 3 different sections. So first section is recent app, where you will be able to see all the recent apps that has been developed within the Teams. So you will be able to see. So when you are establishing this for the first time, this section will be blank because no apps would be created within your teams, but I already created, so I am able to see this type of apps over here. And from here, some out of the box templates provided in order to ready-made use, like employee ideas, inspection and issue reporting. This is the complete Power App solution provided. And in the learn section, you can learn different concept of Dataverse for Teams over here. Now on the top navigation, we would be having build section, where per team, whatever the Power Apps, tables, Power Virtual Agent, chatbots, whatever we have created, it will show everything by per team. Now the question arises in our mind that we have this web.powerapps.com, and whatever the Power Apps that we are creating with the help of this new Canvas app, we are able to see this over here. Now whatever the apps that we are going to build with the teams, are we able to see here in the Power Apps? So the answer is no. We cannot able to see those apps inside this web.powerapps.com. We would be only able to edit or access everything within the teams. We cannot leave the team context for that. There are some other ways to leave that team context as well, so we'll discuss about that thing later, but at this moment everything will be keep into this team. Now I talked about additional 2 gigs per team. So what do we mean by that? Let me explain you that thing. So first of all, we added our power apps. Now let me create, I already created one team for our demonstration for today's demo. So at this moment, I just created this new team D365 Champs 02. So this is the new team that I recently created. And if I just check this team, I just added one user over here inside this team named Tejal. So she is a member and I'm the owner of the team. So we can also test the different roles over here as well. So this is the team that we created. Now the thing is that whenever we create our first power apps within the teams, at that time the new environment is being prepared and we are able to see that new environment in Power Platform Admin Center. So first of all, let me open that up for you, and then let me create power apps so we will get a better idea. So this is the power apps that has been created, my make.powerapps.com portal, and now let me just redirect to the admin center. So make sure that you have the enough privileges for admin center, so that will open this type of screen for us. So first of all, go to the environment section over here. So whatever the new environment that has been created for Dataverse for Teams, it is we are able to see it from here, and its type is Microsoft Teams. So let's say at this moment for D365 Champs 02, we haven't created any power apps or any chatbot. So environment is not created at this moment. But when we create the first power apps, we would be able to see that environment would be created automatically over here. So now let me create that thing for you, and then let's refresh the admin center and go there. So let's go to our power apps from the left navigation, and let me just create the new application. So I'm just clicking on create an app. So the very first step is to select the team for which team you want to create this power apps. So let's say I want to create the power apps for D365 Champs 02. So I'm selecting that team and I'm just clicking on create. So this will take some time because at the backend it is preparing the entire environment for this newly created fresh team. So I'll let it to be created, and once it is created, Microsoft team will notify us here environment is being created over there. So let it to be created, and meantime let me just close this window. All right, mostly it is being created, and in activity you can see that it is showing that environment has been created successfully. So let me just click on that, and we are good. Now let me just refresh my admin center and let's check the newly created environment over here.
Dhruvin, we have a question here.
Yes.
It is from Prashant. He asks, would there be a new environment for every team where we have the Power Apps?
Yes, it will be creating a new environment per team. So per team, it will provide 2 gigs of additional storage, as well as per team, it will create a new environment.
Okay, and will every environment have a database added?
Uh, Database is something that when we create the power apps, we will be add. I will show you once I create that power apps over here. So that is upcoming stage, that how we can add the database inside that particular environment.
Okay, thank you.
All right. So we can see that for this particular teams, our environment is ready. Now let me just click here and let me show the little bit information about it. So here you can see that we know that for each Microsoft 365 team, it creates the group behind it. So same way, one security group is tightened for this environment, and we will be able to see if any power apps or flow associated with it. And coming towards the storage part, we just need to go to the capacity section from this Power Platform Admin Center. So you can see that at this moment for a simple we just need to click on Microsoft Teams section over here. And for this newly created environment, we are having fresh 2 GB of additional storage occupied. So at this moment 25% is being used. It is just due to some backend processes and everything. But yes, for each individual team, like up to 500 team it is supporting at this moment, it will provide 2 GB of additional storage over here, where we can create our Power Apps, Power Automate, Power Virtual Agent, or any tables within the Dataverse. So every space is being calculated over here into this 2 gigs of amount per team. So that is one thing. Now let me move over to our Power Up section from here, and let me just uh, open up the Power Apps that we just created. So I'm just going over here and let me open. All right, we reached to the home section over here. Then let's go to the build section and D365 gems. So let's say we haven't stored that particular app. Let me create again one Power App. So one important thing here as well, at this moment only Canvas app is supported for Dataverse for team. We are not able to create any model driven app with Dataverse for teams. Hopefully in upcoming updates we would be having that flexibility available. And let me just create my application name as Leave application. So I'm just giving the name of my application over here. So once this Power Apps is being created, let it to be saved. And till now, let me show you like what we are going to cover with the help of this particular Power Apps. So let's say whenever we are creating this Power Apps in Dataverse, by default this one screen is being created where we have one gallery section on the left hand side. On the right hand side we have one form section, and on the top right corner we have two buttons for edit and delete, and similar way we have one cool button for new record. So this one default page is being created to get started, but we are not going to use this one. I will give you definitely a little bit idea about that, but we'll cover more about later on this session. But before we get started in Leave application, what we are going to cover, let me show you that thing, so we'll get a better idea on that. So basically we are going to this type of Power Apps application. So let me open up that thing. So we would be having a leave application system where user can apply a leave. So that will open one requester form for them where they can fill in different information and just save that information. From my leave section, a requester can check the status of their leaves, like whether it is approved or rejected or pending, everything they would be able to see it from particular this section. And from manager section, whatever the request that has been assigned to that specific manager, they will be able to see those requests over here and on that grid, and from there they can approve or reject. I do not have used any approval flow just for the time being, so you can use that based on your logic requirement, but this is the overall thing that we are going to create. Now I have designed some database architecture for that, as well as this is support relational database schema. So basically we are going to create three different tables here. So two are master table and one is the one where we are using some lookup column from this master. So one is leave type master table where we would be having the leave type. So we have planned leave, unplanned leave, birthday leave, different type of leaves we are adding over here. Then we are having one manager table, so we can identify that who are the managers. So we will be storing manager name and email, but actual business requirement you can store based on your requirement. And same way for leaves table, we would be having leave id, leave type, leave title, start date, end date, number of days, manager, manager comment, and leave status. So this is something that we are going to create over here with the relational database system. So now let me move over again to my Power App section, and let me open up my power apps again that we just created for this particular power apps, and we will go with the step-by-step procedure of table creation in Dataverse for Teams, and then we will add different form and everything. So once we create the tables, after all, after that, most of the part are related to Microsoft Power Apps Canvas app. So that would be more straightforward and easy. But let me show you about the creating the tables within this Dataverse for Teams. So I just opened up this particular data source. So we just need to go to the data section from here, and here we would be having an option create new table. So this is something that is like creating a table in CDS. We can say earlier concept was entity. So this is the similar concept over here with the new name and new terminology, that everything is now called as table, rows and columns. So we would be creating that one. Also, let's say it provide all the capability of existing power apps as well. Like if you do not want to use this Dataverse for Teams as a data source, you can use any connector like SharePoint, SQL Server, or any other data source that you wanted to have. You can use that. But to specifically here, we are going to talk about Dataverse for Teams. So that's why I'm going to create a separate table for here. So I'm just need to create new table, and let's just give the name of our table. So first table name is leave type. So let's just create that one. So it provides this type of cool UI to us inside the Teams. We do not need to leave the Teams context, and this type of UI for table creation and all. So let's just rename that as leave type, and let's add few values over here, like as this is the master table, like planned leave, then unplanned leave, right? So these are the two different leave types I added, and now we just need to simply click on close. If you want to add any additional column, we can simply use add column, and we will see that later. So that is one table that has been created here. Now similar way, let's create our second table. So let me click on create new table again, and let me create a managers table over here. Let's just create. There are two different ways to create table. Let me show you that thing as well. So the manager table would be having manager name and manager email. So let's just rename our column manager name, that is type as text, and similar way let's create one second column manager email. So its type should be email. So at this moment, from this particular UI, this many of data types is being supported: text, email, URL, phone, auto number, date, decimal, lookup, choice, and yes, no. In traditional CDS, there are much more data type. We will be see that part also during this session. So let's just make its type as email, and let's create our table. So at this moment, I just wanted to add my name in the manager. So let me just add my email address over here. So I just added one single record here, and let me close that. And similar way, let's create our last master table, that is leaves table. So I'm just creating that table, and the first column is leave description. Let's add that. Then we are going to use leave type. So leave type is something which is the lookup column. So leave type. Now from here, let's select lookup, because it's coming from the master table that we just created leave type. So we just need to select that table and just click on create. So that has been provided here. Leave type, then start date is the date type. Let's select that and click on create. Similar way, end date is also a date type. Similar way, number of days, that should be decimal. And let's say now let's close this thing. Now there are still few columns that we need to create, but now I'm going to show you one another way to create this table as well, which will from where we have some traditional CDS type of experience. So let me just simply close that. Let me just click on save from here. So make sure about this thing. By default it is saving automatically, but we don't forget to save, because whenever we are navigating from anywhere it is not prompting anything to us, so don't forget to save. Now I'm just clicking on home section and I'm just going to build section. I'm going to this particular team, and these are the three tables that we just created. We are able to see it over here. Now let's say for an example I want to add some additional column over here. Let's click on see all. So that will provide us the additional information about that team, like which power apps or which tables are being created. So here all three tables we are able to see. Now at last we created this leaves table, so let me just open that. So it will show me this many of columns to me. And now let me talk about some relationship concept over here. So at this moment three relationships are provided. So let's say I want to assign manager for each individual leave. So for each leave one manager would be there. Is many to one relationship is there. So let me just add many to one relationship. So leaves table is a relationship with manager table, and we just wanted to display manager name over here, and just click on done. That's all. So that's how my manager name column is being created here. Similar way we can create the any additional column as well, like a manager comment is something that I need to create. So I'm just creating a column manager comment. So here you can see that the UI user interface is something which is different, which is similar to native CDS, where we would be having more option, like if you want to make that column required, non-required, on data type as well. There are so many data types supported over here. So that is something which you will not be able to see when you are going to create the tables from teams. So from here we would be having some more option. So let's just create on done, and at last let's create a column status, leave status. So that would be my choice column. So we can just select choice from here, and let's just add some choices over here. So I just wanted to add choices as pending, approved and rejected, and just click on save. And by default when new item is created, its data type should be the first one, which is pending at this moment. So let me just click on done from here. It is optional. Let's select this one. So this is how we have prepared our database structure. Now let's save our table from here, and now let's open our Power Apps again. So this is how we can just simply define our data structure in Microsoft Dataverse for Teams. So this is the database design type. Now in the next step, I'm going to develop that Power Apps that I have shown you at the very beginning. But before we do that, let me give you a little bit idea about this out of the box page. So if we just want to check few things, so it provide this type of ready-made template. So let's say here what we need to do here is we just need to provide our data source, and that will prepare our gallery and form over here. It's not that accurate, but yes, for testing purpose we can at least try. So that will the form creation is something which is similar like the form that we are going to create in the regular Canvas app. So let's go to the preview, and let's say if I'm going to create a new record, so let's add few description like Thanksgiving leave. then start date and end date. Now here one cool thing is that in traditional canvas app, what happen here is for date picker especially would be having OK button. So that is, you know, very demanding feature that user need to press every time OK button. They can not simply select date and they are good to go. But here for Dataverse for Teams, this is really cool. That has been improved here. So this is one important thing. And now when we just click on save, and we are able to store that information, and we will be able to store that, see that thing into this particular grid. And similar way we can edit or remove the records as well. So we have tested few things over here. Now let's cover up with the from scratch power apps development. So I'm going to the teams where I already built this app, so I'm going to show you every step, because creating everything from scratch is not possible just because of time. So I will show you each individual step that I have performed in order to prepare those screens and everything. So let me move over to the already created app first. So I'm just going to the home section from here, and I just created this app to my YouTube channel's Power Apps, which is already been created. Now I will be explaining the each individual step that we are going to perform there, and the database schema that we have prepared over here, which is absolutely same here as well. So there is no difference about any columns or anything over there. So we will be having consistency over there. So the very first step is that we need to prepare this home screen. So this is similar like existing Power Apps concept. You just need to click on new screen. So that will create one blank screen for you. Now in order to add the different controls in actual Canvas apps, we would be having all the controls available on the top corner, top of the Power Apps. But now here we need to go to the insert section, and here we would be finding every control over here. So we just need to add two buttons and three different labels over here in order to create the screen. So this is the home screen that I just created, two buttons, three different buttons and two labels by just providing names. That's all. Now what are the code that we need to return? I'll explain later. Now second thing is that we need to prepare the form. Now in order to prepare the form, what we need to do here is let's create one scrollable screen first. So I'm just creating this type of scrollable screen, and now into this particular canvas I'm adding my form. So I'm just click on add an item, and from here we just need to select our form. So edit form, we can add it from here. And now from here we just need to provide our data source, that is leaves data source. So that will add all the columns to us here. Now let's say for an example, if we want to arrange that fields properly. So let's say at this moment leave ID is something which is automatically generated, so we don't need that field into the form. Then leave description, we first of all we need leave type. So basically we just need to select leave type as first column. So by regular Power Apps, let's just drag that on the top. So let's remove that thing. Leave type will be on the top, then leave description, then my start date. So I'm just arranging the field very easily from here. Then leave status is pending by default, that would be hidden. So I will be explaining that thing to you as well. And manager comment, number of days, and manager name drop down we need to provide. So we just need to search for manager name, and let's add that, and let's just easily drag it, and we are good to go. Now let's say for this date time, at this moment we would be having this time section is also available, but we don't need time. So we simply remove this one. So let's unlock the card and remove that. So once we remove that, it will throw us some error. So it is something that we need to remove all the references related that field. So we are just removing those references as we do not need time over there. So there are 6 to 7 errors it will throw related the references of that particular data card. So let's remove that everything, and then we are good. So I removed almost everything. Let's say So whenever you remove, you will be getting the error from another. Okay, so we are good now. So same thing we need to do for end date as well, and then we are good. Now let me move over to my actual form that will look nice. So this is the form that we created. So we just remove the time, and we have start date, end date, number of days, manager name, manager comment, and leave status. Now let's say for an example, number of days is a auto calculated column. So it should be start date minus end date. So at this moment it is blank. So it should show 0. Otherwise it should show the difference of start date and end date. So in default event, we just need to use the code date difference that will find the difference between date value 4 and 3, which is start date and end date, and it will calculate those days automatically over here, which should not be filled in by the end user. And similar way, this manager field like manager comment, and let's say this leave status is something which should be only applicable in the edit form for manager, not for the requester. So for that as well, we are using some visible code for this particular thing. So let's say on visible, we just use a code. If form mode is equal to new, then it should not be visible to end user. And in edit mode, it should be visible only for manager. For that, we are managing this role management, but I'm going to explain this role variable later on this session. So at this moment, it will only applicable for the edit form. Right now, second thing, save button. So let's just use submit form, regular code over there. So on select event, I just use submit form and form ID. Similar way, we just designed two grids, which is leave application assigned to me, where we can see my leaves, and similar way manager will be able to see their leaves. So in my leave section, what we need to do here is, let's say for an example, we have created this type of grid mechanism, and let me just come from the my leave section. So let's say here on the home page specifically, I just used two context variable. So when we clicked, when we are coming from this one, meaning that we are coming from as a requester from here. So let me just show you on select event. So from here the role is user, and from here the role is manager, and we are going to use the same screen with the switch expression. So on select, and the role is manager. Now let's say I'm going from here. I'm just selecting alter plus click, and we are good to go here. Here I just use one gallery control and add different labels and one button, and here we use switch. So if user, then its filter leaves list table by it's created by, if created by is equal to current user that has logged in into Teams, then all the requests will be able to see over here. And same way for manager, if the in manager email is equal to current user's email, then he would be able to see all the requests over there. Now that is the one role part over here. Now how can I define that who is manager and who is regular user? So for that, we already created this manager tables. So all the users who are part of this manager table, who has they have the manager role assigned, so they will be able to see this button. Otherwise they will not, they will be only able to see only these two buttons. So for that, we just make one set variable, global variable on start of the app. So we just use if in current user is available into manager table. So for that, we just use filter expression, that if manager email is equal to current user's email, if we found any record, and if we calculate it row, if it is greater than 0, then the role is manager, otherwise is regular user. So that is how we identified these roles, and based on that, these buttons will be visible and showing and hiding over there. So on select, on visibility of this particular code, we have written some code like this, like if role is equal to manager, only at that time this will be visible, otherwise it is false. And current user email we are finding using user.email, and we are just printing our role variable that we have identified, so that we can just taste like if it is detecting perfect role over there or not. So this is one thing. Now in edit form as well, in form as well, we wanted to as I told you, like this particular few fields are something which should be visible only for the managers. So for that as well, we already seen the visibility code here. that for edit mode, if role is equal to manager, only at that time it will be able to see as true, otherwise it is false. So this is something that we can define just as a regular power apps. Also, one important thing, at this moment I have managed these roles using this Dataverse for Teams table. But now let's say if you have any other data source like SharePoint and all, so you can create the Office 365 group as well. You can connect your Power Automate with Power Apps, and that is how you can identify that current logged in user is a part of which group, and based on that you can manage those roles. So there are lots of other ways. So based on your business requirement, you can choose your best. Otherwise, we developed this entire app. Now it's time to test this particular thing. So let's say for an example, I'm just clicking on the apply leave from here, and now I'm just applied one single leave. So leave description. So I'm just adding leave description as Thanksgiving 05. Then let's select start date and end date 27 to 28. I just wanted to have 2 days leave. So it is automatically showing number of days as 2. And now I'm selecting Dhruvin as manager. So in manager table, I have stored two values at this moment. Dhruvin and Tejal both are manager, but I just wanted to show Dhruvin as manager here. So I'm just clicking on save. So that leave request has been created successfully. Now as a requester, I can go here and I can just check the request that I just created, and its status is pending by default. Now from here, I can also edit the request as well. Right now, let's say as a manager, I'm going here, I'm approving this request. So it will show all the requests that has been assigned to that manager. So this one request is assigned to Dhruvin. So let's just select that. And from here, let's select approve, and let's add some comment approved. And then let's just click on simply save. So from here, manager user will understand, yes, this request has been approved. So you can configure different approval flow as well, like using adaptive cards, or let's say email approval, or whichever your business requirement is, you can set that accordingly. At this moment, I just make it as simple as possible. So this is how the leave application system is looking like. Now let's talk about the role. So let me just save this stuff here, and now let me remove one of the manager from this particular table, and let's see how the user role will look like, whether all the conditions are working properly or not. So let's say at this moment two users are there in the manager group. So I'm removing Tejal from the group, and then we will log in with Tejal's account, and let's see how many things she will be able to see over there. So let me open my another window from here. So all right, so let me just open teams.microsoft.com. All right, I'll let it to belong in. All right, so I just use one of the user of my tenant, Tejal. Now let's see. This is the channel. This is the team where we will be able to see this particular leave application system. And now let's try to run, and let's see how many things we would be able to see for Tejal's user. So you can see that she is a requester. We just removed her from the manager group. So we would be able to see only two blocks for her. Now the question arises in our mind that we developed this entire thing. What are the publishing step? I directly shown you with the publish mode, but didn't show you how to publish that. So basically, once you complete this development part, we having an option publish to teams. So we just need to click on that. So what it will do is it will open one pop-up to us. Like from here, we can change the icons or description if we want to change, right? So we can change different colors, different icons from here. And once we are done, let's click again and click on next. So first of all, what it will do is it will show all the channels from your team in the grid. And let's say at this moment in my team I only have general channel. So let's say if you have some more channels, so it will list out all the channels over here. And then let's say I want to add my leaves application into this particular team, so I can just click on plus icon. So when you are coming for the first time, this will not be visible to you. So you just need to click on plus icon from here. But I already published this app once, so I'm able to see the already published app name over here. So I'm just selecting this one because I just wanted to make a replacement. I just want to republish that. So I'm just clicking on save and close. So once you do that, that particular app will be available into your teams. So let's say this is my teams, and here we have this particular tab. So tab created. So your power apps will be loaded over here inside this particular tab. So that's how we can develop our first canvas app for teams using Dataverse. So I think I covered the entire scenario of leave application system. Now, uh, let me walk through about some interesting thing about this Dataverse for Teams, and we'll go with the licensing part. Now, let's say for an example, for distribution of this particular app, let's say for an example, for this particular team in manage team section, I have added this many of members. So all of these users will be able to access this Power Apps from this particular teams. Now coming over to external users. Now let's say for an example, if you have any external users which has been added to that particular Dataverse for Teams, so are they able to access this particular Power Apps? So the answer is yes. At this moment there is no restriction that you cannot add any external users in Teams and they are not able to access the app that you have created. But only scenario is that your guest user, now let's say I just use this domain as my main tenant, that is dsha27. Now let's say I'm sharing some another domains as a domain user as a guest, so they should be having at least power apps trial to be activated in order to open the app. Otherwise what happen here is they will not able to open the app. They will able to access the teams but they are not able to open the teams. So for guest that is one condition, that at least power apps license should be assigned for guest over there. Only at that time they will be able to open the app. Otherwise they will be having an error that trial is not activated on your account. And this area is something which is I'm more exploring, and I will once I get more update about more external user thing, I will update regularly that on my YouTube. Otherwise for distribution, whatever the users will add here, they will be having an access of that power apps that we created in Dataverse for Teams. Now let me move over to the my PowerPoint presentation deck, and let me just cover up last few things about the licensing and few things that we already discussed. So as we discussed, for each team one new environment is created for Dataverse, and one-to-one mapping is there in between teams and its environment. Maximum 500 teams are supported. 2 gigs per team is provided at this moment. And let's say for an example, now we have a question like we are exhausted for 2 gigs of storage that is being provided. Now what to do? So we have a facility to upgrade our environment. Now upgrading the environment is something which is not generally available at this moment. So we are not going to perform practically at this moment, but whenever this update is being rolled out, we'll notify about that thing. But the Right now, the situation is that we cannot upgrade more than 2 gigs until the new notification from Microsoft is being uh, rolled out. Now, let's say there are some few points which are mentioned on official Microsoft blog about this upgradation procedure. So I'm just giving you a little bit idea like how that will be looking like. So let's say if we upgrade our environment now, let's say at this moment per team one environment is created. Now when I'm upgrading that environment, that will be merged with my tenants Dataverse environment. Now what happen here is once we are upgrading that thing, we need the licensing. That licensing is something which will work as Dataverse licensing. So for Power Apps, it will occupy Power Apps license. For Power Automate license is being used over there. And the storage that is being stored over there, it will be calculated from your entire tenant's Dataverse capacity. So these are two important things that has been mentioned. And one important thing, like at very initial of the session, I told you that whatever the app that we are going to create in Teams, we are not able to find this app into this app section. But now as we are upgrading the environment, let's say we are upgrading to our Dataverse environment. So at that time, we would be able to access that app from our Power Apps portal as well. So that thing is something which is mentioned. So let's see when it is actually been rolled out, and we can check more features on that later. And about the licensing part, as I said you, at this moment there is no additional licensing for required to in order to use Dataverse for Teams. So your existing Microsoft 365 subscription will work whether you have E3 E5 license already there for your user in Teams. That will work fine. And there is a huge documentation about licensing. So yeah, if you are going to use for your business, definitely you can contact for the license vendors or Microsoft support. You can take if you have any question. So but at this moment, as per this thing, we do not need any additional license. And the app that is created in Teams for Dataverse, which can be accessed only from Teams and Teams mobile application, that's all. And we can invite maximum number of guests from here, like any external user. But definitely they are not able to create or edit the app. They can just simply use the app. And of course they have some basic license in their environment, like Power Apps trial license or and all. So I think I covered almost everything about the licensing part as well for Dataverse for Teams. So I think I'm good. So these are all my social media handle details where you can follow me on Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, Blogger, and LinkedIn account. And let me show you, like in this particular session, we just gone through some fast forward process for creating the Power Apps and all. But definitely I have some separate series on that as well on my YouTube. So you can go through for the detailed information over there.
Dhruvin, sorry for interruption. We have
Yeah.
5 minutes left for your session.
Yeah. So I think, Sagar, I covered almost everything, and I
Okay.
was about to say, like, if anyone has any question, they can ask, and we are good to end the session. And meantime, uh, let's say, let me just show you one thing related. Just give me a moment. All right. So the link that I provided, Linktree. So from here you will be redirected to my all social media handles, and from here I have a complete series on Dataverse which will be launched out in next midweek totally. So here I explained everything from start to end from beginning. So you can find everything from here. It is 7 part of series, almost around 7 different party thing which we have covered here, like everything from Power Apps creation to ending the thing. So just go through that and we are good. So now,
Thank you, Dhruvin, for a very detailed session. Don't have any pending query. Seems like everyone has enjoyed, and the session was quite amazing.
thank you so much, Preeti.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was really clear cut session. So I guess people are, much clear about the scenario which you have just showed us. So Preeti, would you like to show something here? Like we
Yes,
have
so
one.
time for the power shot for the day.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay,
So people
so
from Ahmedabad and surrounding will definitely like this. Like this is just a picture captured by our champion Preeti, and this is the original one. Uh, and although this is not, we can't see the Ahmedabad, but this is how Ahmedabad looks from the cloud. We can say that.
this is just
And
to let us all feel good.
yeah, it's like inspiring people.
Thank you for that wonderful share from Ahmedabad, Preeti. And thank you, Dhruvin, from all the way from Ahmedabad. Just Majama che, the session was that way. It was all Majama. And would like you, I know it takes a lot of time to develop content because I also do that. And I cannot just, I'm just amazed at the sheer content that you're creating. It must be taking a lot of your time, like from your personal side. So thank you for doing that for the community. This was a wonderful session, a lot of knowledge gain. It will be coming out on our YouTube channel in 5 to 8 business working days. Please give us that time, guys. It takes time to download, stream, cut, trim, and then upload it back to YouTube. And Dhruvin must be agreeing. It does take time, right? So, so we'll be sharing it through everything. It must have taken a lot of time for you to develop this, and we'll want you to invite you to more and more of our meetups and other events. And you did speak at the Global Business Applications Day, not to forget that last minute and really late in the night. Thank you for doing that also. That's a community contributor for me. Um, Whenever I come down to Ahmedabad, I would like to meet you in person as well, Dhruvin. Thank you for sharing your knowledge with us today. It was a great session.
Same here, Dipesh. Thank you so much for having me and providing me this stage to share my knowledge with all of you. Thank you so much, everyone.
Okay,
And
so
it,
time to wind up. Uh,
yeah,
I would like to thank everyone who has joined this session and Dhruvin and Priyesh for being a wonderful speakers for this meetup and our wonderful audience for being interactive throughout the sessions. So thank you, everyone. Hope to see you again. Keep safe.
Thank,
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 Thank you for
thank
hosting
you.
thank you,
us.
everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Thank you so
everyone.
much.
I'll
Bye,
Have a
guys.
just
great
stop,
day.
Have a
Bye.
nice weekend.
I'll just stop the recording now. Thank you.
Yeah, sure. Please.
Yeah.